Alright guys, Dragonface here. I wanted to go over the changes real quick for the hot fixes that were released on the 23rd. Now these won't take place until the 27th after realm or server maintenance on Tuesday morning. So this will be live Tuesday morning after after the realms come back online. Okay. So I just want to go over this real quick with an emphasis on Warlocks. DKs, Frost DK, huge buffs. I'm not sure what was going on with them. I know their one ability hit for like almost 700k in PvP, the Dragon ability. So I'm not sure really. They were always, the Frost DK were always hardest for me as a Warlock to kill because they just run up to me and use their little like blow ice in your face ability, and you can't fear them. Like they're immune to stun like half the time, and they just like face roll and you're dead with that. So I don't know, but that's my perspective on Frost DK. Maybe they're bad in PvE, so they're getting buffed. I don't, whatever. But this one right here is what I wanted to talk about. Demon Hunter Havoc. Huge nerf. This is one of the biggest nerfs I've ever seen Blizzard throw out. And this was kind of my prediction, that they would come out, make them grossly overpowered, and then patch them down. Now I was surprised they patched them down so fast instead of waiting a little longer. But that's what they did. Throw glaive reduced by 30%. Now this is the biggest one though. The bloodlet talent, which was linked to throw glaive, so it's already nerfed. They nerfed it down to 100%, down from 200% of initial throw glaive damage, and along with a 30% reduction to Fell Rush and a 20% reduction to their artifact ability. Your beloved Walmart players that just, oh, Demon Hunter OP, let's go, flavor of the month. These people are going to be very sad to see this, that they're just going to be another normal class. Now this is funny, I'm actually surprised that they ever nerfed Demon Hunter, because DKs have been OP'd in my opinion ever since release, and they're still not getting nerfs. They're actually getting buffs. Frost is getting buffed. So I think DKs, I don't know, they just have everything. They have like the immunity, they have the damage reduction, they have stuns, they have roots. To me, they have everything. Where Affliction or Warlocks don't have like anything. They have fear. That's it. Moving on. Balanced Druid, small buff. Mages, huge buff for Frost, a small buff for Arcane. This is a little confusing for me. Frost was always like the PvP tree to me, and so now they're just going to be baseline kind of like equal in PvP or equal in PvE, I'm sorry, and the best in PvE. So I don't really know why you would go Arcane or Fire other than just that's your preference. I always thought of Frost as the best in PvP because they all their roots and their ice block. So I don't know. Maybe that's just my perception. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, just moving on. Hunter Barrage reduced 20%. Beast of Wrath for BM Hunters increased 5% from 20 to 25. Barrage is probably needed since Hunters just wait every 20 seconds and then hit Barrage and your top DPS, and that's pretty much your rotation. That's just too simple. So moving on, Ret Pallies got a nice little buff. Priests, I'm not even going to talk about them. Rogues, nice little buffs. Ellie Chamois, huge buffs. Enhancement Chamois. Enhancement Chamois, I guess there were some bugs that were doing some unintended things that weren't supposed to be happening, so they just kind of fixed some of the bugs. Warrior, Fury Warrior, small buffs. I would like to see Fury Warrior be the top DPS in PvE because I don't think they're that good in PvP. At least for me, anytime I do an arena and there's a warrior, it's always just focus the warrior because they don't have pillar hump heal. They don't have 2 lives like rogue mage. They don't have pillar hump heal like druids, like the DPS druid specs, and and the monks. So it's always focus warrior because they don't have 2-3 lives like that. Anyway, moving on to warlock. Here we have Affliction, small buff across the board. I'm not really going to go into it in detail other than the fact that Affliction Warlock is in a very bad place, and I'll tell you why. It's because they're operating off the similar mechanics that they had in WOD where you needed Soul Burn Haunt on a target to do any damage. Well, currently you need your artifact weapon buff triggered to do any damage, and so it's kind of similar where you need a trigger to do damage. And so that's really hurting a lot. So once you get that triggered, now you're doing equal damage to other classes where there's a ramp up time to build any kind of time on your reap souls for your artifact for Affliction, but everyone else just instead of their artifact weapon being baseline, it's a bonus. So that's why Affliction Warlock artifact weapon, the trigger is supposed to be baseline and not a bonus. So that's why they're behind. And Warlocks have really always been like that. Everyone else, but like Soul Shards used to be a bonus. Now they're just clumsy mechanics. UA is not really even strong enough to justify needing a Soul Shard to do it, but I guess maybe 15% increase, maybe that'll do something. I don't know. But I will say this, in PvP, my magic damage for Affliction Warlock is reduced somewhere between 25 and 40%. Now, so this is huge when I'm trying to like drain tank someone. When I am drain souling in mythics, I can heal 100k a tick from, especially when I crit, it heals over 100k. So this basically is good in PvE if you're fighting a big boss. Like, you require no healing from healers because of all your defense. So this is the value in Affliction Warlocks. Unfortunately, no one cares about that. All they care about is damage. And so with the ramp up time with Agony coupled with the ramp up time for your artifact, it's basically obsolete in PvP and mythics. You're still good in raids because no one cares about your trash damage. They only care about boss damage, and you can do pretty good boss damage as Affliction, and you're not gonna die. You're never gonna die as an Affliction Warlock in PvE unless if you're like the last one standing. Unless if you do something really stupid. So anyway, moving on. Those are kind of like the core problems with Affliction. Now I'll tell you what I would have liked to see. I would like to see Corruption increase damage by 30% and Agony increase damage by 75%. I think this would turn us into a dot focused class. As it is right now, you have to pick Drain Soul for all the extra damage because Drain Life does not do any damage. But so as your filler Drain Life, I think that would be a better design for Warlocks, because then your Agony would do damage instead of long ramp up time. Still no damage. You would have long ramp up time, damage, good damage. So those are my thoughts. Anyway, moving on to Demonology. We have Hand of Gul'dan. Impact damage increased 20%. Shadow Bolt and Demon Bolt increased 10%. Doom increased 10%. I'm not sure why. Felguard increased 10%. I'm not sure why for that either. Dreadstalker's attack power increased 10%. Wild Imps 10%. If you pick Supremacy, your Doom Guard will be increased by 18%. Implosion increased 15%. Unreal. So this will put improved Dreadstalkers out of business in your talent tree. Shadow Flame increased 10%. Dark Glare increased 10%. Now, I'll come back to this real quick. Destruction Warlock 11% buff across the board. Not going to do anything for them. I would have liked to see Immolate was in a good spot. Incinerate probably needed a small buff, but I would like to see about a 40% increase on Chaos Bolt and just do away with the PvP talent Firestone. I think this would put it back, actually probably more like 50%, but this would put it back onto Chaos Bolt does damage. Instead in PvP right now it does about anywhere from 200 to 300k. With the cast time, you have to talent to have a cast time under 2.5 seconds, so it's 2.1 seconds cast time with the talent tree talent, and it costs 2 soul shards. So you compare that to like Frosty K, they just hit the release dragon button and it's like 700k. So I'm not sure how that like works out, but and don't tell me it doesn't do 700k, because I saw Haz Gaming do a Frosty K video and his release dragon did 697,000 when he released that dragon. I don't know what that ability is, but whatever. So anyway, let me go back to Demonology. With this will change some things with the implosion change. Shadow Flame got an increase, so I think just like my previous video, it will still be the best for you. I'm not going to fault you if you go with these other ones. You're free to do it, but I'm sticking with Shadow Flame, especially after it got buffed. Improved Dreadstalkers is probably out of business now, so it'll probably just be Implosion spec. Demon Skin, who cares? Soul Harvest has always been a no-brainer to me, but maybe, I don't know, if you want to do something else, go ahead. Synergy, Soul Conduit, Implosion, I think is the core new build, as opposed to improved Dreadstalkers, Service, Demon Bolt, which I did the last time in my previous Demonology build. So I am not sure if you want to do Call Dreadstalkers anymore due to the increase in imp damage and implosion. I am not sure. I'll just say that they'll probably still be worth it, would be my guess. Anyway. So, but my new you would just focus on for now. I'm going to give you a no Dreadstalker build or standard rotation. Now I'm not going to use Tequila's consumption. I guess maybe I will, and just so you want to get you want to get to 5, then hopefully your Soul Conduit will be good. So I'm at 2. Empowerment, the keels, and then right before they run out, Implosion. So that will pretty much be your rotation. Just do that, and without the keels consumption, it would just be get to 5, Hand of Gul'dan, cast 1 Shadow Bolt, Hand of Gul'dan again, Empowerment, probably Dreadstalkers now, and right before they run out, 2, 1, go ahead and implode. So that would probably be the depending on how many soul shards you have. And obviously I didn't demo empower. You're going to want to demo empower after those dreadstalks, but dreadstalkers come out every time. Unless if your demons are about to, unless if you have a pack of imps that are about to despawn, then you're going to want to hit implosion to blow them up. Always implosion before your lowest pack of imps expire. Okay, so that will be pretty much your main focus with this new build, to always implosion right before they expire. Okay, so with the differences in soul shards, I can't tell you an exact rotation because you have soul conduit now. It's going to be RNG, so the exact rotation is going to be a little off, but in general I would do 5 Hand of Gul'dan, 1 Shadow Bolt, Hand of Gul'dan again, and then Demonic Empowerment, and then you wait until this gets down to like the very last second, and then blow them all up, and then do it again. And then while you're waiting, obviously you're casting Shadow Bolt if you have enough for Dreadstalkers. Go ahead and call your Dreadstalkers out, then Implosion, then Empower. So you can see you're going to have a real good feel to run this build. It's not going to be as simple as your improved Dreadstalker Demon Bolt, which is a little more concrete. In this build, you're going to have to pay a little more attention to how many soul shards you have and when your imps are going to run out. So those will be your biggest things. Make sure you blow up the imps before they run out. Okay, this is Dragonface signing off. I hope this helps. Just without a doubt, with the 15% increase in implosion, it will surpass improved Dreadstalkers on any kind of switch target damage, anything other than one target the entire fight. With one target the entire fight, improved Dreadstalkers Demon Bolt will be slightly better, but I would just go ahead and leave it so you're used to doing this one. You're not going to hardly lose any DPS even on single target. Dragonface signing off. Hope this